Slash and Burn Theory says, do you think Elizabeth Holmes will attempt to appeal her verdict? I don't know. Have you guys been? Were you guys paying attention to this case? I know that like half of the charges she was convicted, and then half of them it seems like she wasn't.
Well,
In
I
the
would say
end,
all criminal defendants who are convicted should try to appeal, right? I mean, that's like the general parlance of it.
You're Wisco or Natalie.
You're muted.
Muted. Oh, you're still muted.
You're still muted.
Let me see if maybe oh, there you go. I think you should. Oh, what? For some reason, your mic isn't working. I don't know why.
Now?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
We got you now.
Okay.
We got you now.
Okay, there's a button I
to literally all of us.
Yes. I don't even remember what I was going to say before. So, I think Elizabeth Holmes' attempt to appeal her verdict. Yes, because you have to in that situation. Yes, as Nate was saying, everyone should appeal their.
That makes sense. Okay.
You know what? I'm always shocked when a criminal defendant takes their like the judge gives you like 100 years and they sit there and take it so calmly. Like if it was me and a judge says 100 years, I'm taking it like I'm like, oh my God, I'm falling out the seat. I'm just crying, I'm all emotional. I'm like I'm going away for 100 years, then I can act the fool, right? Give me more time, give me another 50 years, F you, judge, F you.
Absolutely. If you're running for 100 years.
I wonder
give me another 50 years on top of it.
I wonder if part of that though is like if it's been so conditioned into you that to stay, to keep your mask on, so to speak, in front of the court, in front of the cameras. Like I wonder if it's like if you are convicted in that kind of a situation that like either that just sort of like your brain just shuts off and that kicks in, or you go into like fight or flight mode where you're just like frozen. And and like barely processing things.
I'm acting a fool. It don't matter at that point in time, right? Like the guys for the Arbery case, they got life without the possibility of parole in the next 20 years. What the hell's another 10 for punching somebody in the face, right? It doesn't matter at that point in time, right? I can get whatever time I want. I'm done. Death penalty, okay. It's over. So I don't know. I'm acting a fool. But
what do you think, Natalie?
But I won't be in that position.
What do you think, Natalie?
I mean, in theory, yes, of course, I think that everyone should appeal everything because there's so much, stuff that goes on, and, judicial and prosecutorial accountability, I think, is important. There's as much as it's important for defense attorney accountability. But I mean, I do also understand competing interests, things like that, like money, that is unfortunate. Like if money wasn't an issue, I think everybody should appeal everything, of course. But, when you're not able to contribute and your family can, there's just so many other things. And when you deal with defendants, it's really hard because, I mean, there's so many problems that happen. It's like, why do these institutionalized problems keep occurring? And a lot of it's because people don't appeal them. And, people aren't held accountable. And the reason why that doesn't happen frequently is because people just can't afford to do it, is because you have to have somebody who's willing to go completely, balls deep commitment with all of this. This is just something that like we're doing regardless for the principle of the matter. But most of the people in the criminal justice system don't have tons of money. And that's where all the, errors, for every one person that is able to crowdfund $2 million, how many other people are there who can't? Yeah. And, you get to the point where all of the mistakes are happening in big cases because they happened in the small ones beforehand. And if everyone were able to appeal everything, that would be an ideal world. But unfortunately, we just don't live there. If it was possible, though, I'd say, yes, do it. But, and that's one of the...
For her, it probably will be possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's something that's frequently more so like... I think federally stuff like that gets better appealed a lot of the times just because of the income thresholds for qualifying for federal defenders is much higher. Wherein, in a state like Wisconsin, at least, the income threshold levels is applying for public defenders. People who are poor still might not qualify for a public defender. You have to be the poorest of the poor generally, and then there's the people in the middle, have to cut corners and stuff like that. So you know, there are lots of competing interests. But in this
Yeah.
situation, yes, I think that she should appeal because she seems to have the resources to be able to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's an interesting point. I think we may have talked about this last time you were on this channel, that about the weird way in which the justice system really kind of helps people at the very, very bottom and the very top. But the
Yeah.
people in the middle tend to be kind of screwed out of legal services because of they're just kind of priced out of the market, or they're just placed at a huge disadvantage because they're having to spend tens of thousands of dollars, usually at least, in order to have some sort of a legal issue resolved, and just sort of squeezes these people in the middle in all kinds of terrible ways. But that's also why I love talking about legal tech.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's
of
not like it's a privilege to be able to have to afford your own attorney. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a. These people are having to, you know, take money out of their retirements accounts, things like that. I wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
call that person privileged,
Yeah.
but you know, there's just so many competing interests, and things like that just really hinder the accountability that is built into the system from actually occurring.